Hello, today is March 9th, 2021. I have some music, as you've noticed, on in the background. I will list what it is. It's actually the music I posted in my community post. It is a very nice meditation music, but I also have a lot of background noise going on around me with other people, and unfortunately their voices are bleeding through into my videos, and there's not a lot I can do about it until I get moved, and I'm definitely making sure I get some soundproofing in a spare room for myself. That is going to be an absolute must. It makes me crazy. It really makes me crazy. So that is why there is sometimes music. It is because I require it initially to block out all the disruption and then sometimes definitely chaos that is around me, so that I can read. And right now I'm just lighting, of course, my Palo Santo to get started. I'm showing the deck that I'm going to use, which is the Enchanted Tarot. It is the 25th anniversary edition. I like it. The deck is rather large, but it is kind of a narrow deck, and it works well. I will be reading on Donald Trump Jr., and I'm going to be doing it more from a lighter-hearted perspective today. But I'll read whatever comes up. But today I just need a bit of some comedy relief. And I'm going to read on him, but I'm going to do it from a position not of like, I don't like that anyway, but from a position of satire and appreciating it through some Schadenfreude. Okay? And there is nothing wrong with that. Okay. So we're just going to have a look, and because there's always something to be learned, no matter whose life we're looking at. There's always something to be learned. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cleanse myself here and the space. You've seen it. I'm going to shuffle the deck right now. I'm fanning myself with the Palo Santo smoke. And I'm very grateful to the spirit of Palo Santo to bless and clear my space and pull in positive energy and help me to get rid of that negative, any negative. So we have a nice kind of clean slate that's positive, a positive reset in the environment. Okay. And I'm going to use, I think I'll just go ahead and use the Haunted House Tarot Deck, which I'm now going to bless and cleanse. By the way, this is an aromatherapy candle, and it's lemongrass and lavender. I really do like it. And if you're interested in it, what I'm using, I will put, at some point I'll get back and put the link in, okay? Because it's a really, really neat calendar. Look at you can't see the embossed glass, but you totally saved this making a candle myself later, once I can get to I have beeswax and candle making stuff. I like making candles. So I appreciate good craftsmanship when I see it. I've also burned some Mag Champa. This is a really great brand. It smells the best. Got a little bit of tape there. But this brand, sometimes I feel like certain incense can smell like it's got bug spray or something. I don't know. of course it doesn't, but it's just the perfumes. This is what that looks like. It's a nice, average size incense stick, but really good quality. So if you can find that brand, Ancient Sensations, process style, buy it because it's really good. If you're looking for a really good Nag Champa incense. Alright. I love this scent so much. I'm very scent, probably that's the Virgo in me. I'm very scent, sight, sound, triggered. I can, in a good way. I mean, like, these things are effective in helping me to achieve a calmer state, or it affects me. So let's just look. Go ahead and take this out. This is big, a rather large deck. The Enchanted Tarot. It has a nice booklet though with it, and for what it is, it wasn't terribly expensive. There was a good deal going on it, but it is yeah, you can see. Here's my hand, my little hand. Compared to but because it is narrow like this, it's easier for me to manipulate and shuffle. Okay. So and it has a little magnetic lid. Let's take a look at Donald Trump Jr. And what is going on with him? Okay, so incense going. There's a little cedar. Keeping the space in a good way. And we're going to read Donald Trump Jr. And this, again, is with the Enchanted Tarot. Look how I'm going to have fun. But this is so bendy that I can do this. Look at that. It does not... It's still difficult, but doable. Kind of. Nope. Okay. All right. Those just shot out. That was too many, y'all. That was not a legit. All right. Look how the smoke pools. That's so cool. I've gotten another incense with a little Buddha on it, and I will be utilizing it in my readings. It'll carry that incense smoke like fog. I think it will be a very beautiful aesthetic. So on we go. We are looking at Don Jr. Let me dial in and get into the right mode and connect to my spiritual mentors. And now that I've made a space in myself clean, or more clean than I was, so to speak, spiritually, I'm presenting myself and I'm asking for their assistance, what we need to know in a more lighthearted way. But hey, they have something more to share. Who am I? I'm just a human. But I asked for them if they would be willing to share with us what we need to know. And he just seems like, honest to goodness, like there's always been something wrong, but he seems like people are concerned that he's using substances, because he doesn't seem with it. And this family's like, it's watching a train wreck. I'm just curious. I'm gonna be straight up. I'm curious if he has a really bad habit, and because he seems a hot mess more than usual. So I'm just asking from that perspective. I just want to understand, because this family lies and hides so much, and yet they insist on being in the public eye and being a part of all of our existence that we have to deal with. So, yeah, I don't feel any kind of guilt in asking, what is going on with this dude? What is his problem? Is he abusing substances now really extensively? And what can spirit... It's, you know, whether I like the guy or not is besides the point. Clearly I'm not a fan, but just having to see this in public in a way that you can't, everywhere you go, it's stuck in your face. So if they're going to do that, I want to know the truth. I'm not just going to accept them doing that. What is the truth? Is this guy really... I mean, it clearly looks like there's something going on for sure in that family. And I just want to see if it's ever going to come out distinctly. And what we need to know. Just allow Spirit to share with us what my spiritual mentors, the Creator, the universe wishes to share with regard to Donald Trump Jr., and this strange activity and behavior with their family. And I'm just asking Spirit, what do you want to share about that? Is he abusing substances? And if he is, and that if is like more like, I think he is, what is his future? Will he get help? Will he, you know, what's the cautionary tale of this person? Okay, let's take a look. Okay, so looking at Donald Trump Jr. and his current life, and with the question of, is his abuse of substance, looks like it's deepening, what is going to happen with that? First card we pull is the Prince of Pentacles. This is some kind of a long established pattern already. And by the way, Donald Jr. is a Capricorn. So I feel that this is also him. And not just in the past when he was younger, perhaps, but that he might still encompass this mentality that has not matured out of being in his, up to his mid-30s. Okay, so he was born in 1977. So this, you know, would still, I can see how this energy would still apply to him as a person, as an adult. But it's still on the more youthful side. And here we have the Nine of Hearts, which is the Nine of Cups. To me, of course, this is overindulging. The Nine of Cups. And I feel like he's definitely, there's a message that he's trying to feel lovable. He's trying to feel accepted or good or positive about himself. Part of the reason why he's using. So one of the things I'm getting, straight off is that he's trying to comfort himself. And this has been a way of comforting himself for a very long time. And it is to try to satiate his emotions and his need for feeling valued. It's, I would feel more sad or sorrowful in a way for him if he wasn't so dang horrible. But we can see why he is. That is no excuse. There's plenty of people that have been treated poorly while growing up, and they become more empathetic. The problem is there's so many sociopaths, I think, in that household, that there was a predisposition anyway toward it, I think. Plus the environment to encourage it. So he is what he is. But I feel like it's because he never got a real sense of nurturing. And so he's trying to feel better about himself, to feel the confidence, to feel what he doesn't really feel like he has. Queen of Hearts. Well, that could be Ivanka. It's water sign. Though I have to look at Kimberly Guilfoyle. Ugh. Okay, so Kimberly Guilfoyle is a Pisces. She's the Pisces to his Capricorn. That, and, don't feel, they don't get to taint the rest of everybody who is a Capricorn or what have you. Pisces. She, And the Five of Hearts represents loss. So, I think that relationship between him, sometimes it takes me a moment as a reader. I'm trying to do so many different things, and it pops out at me. And here's the Queen of Hearts and the Five of Hearts, and that's a loss. I think that relationship could undergo a loss. And I think that it had been, with that Nine of Hearts, very intense. I can only imagine. And I don't want to imagine much more beyond just the thought of imagining. So I think we're being shown his relationship with Kimberly Guilfoyle, actually. I did not know that she, because I just, what? I don't read about all these people. I don't, until I really have to, or unless I'm prompted, like now, by Spirit to read on them. To be honest with you, a lot of people that I read on, I'm just kind of drawn spirit-wise. I don't always keep up with them in the news. I may not always know exactly what has been the most recent thing to happen. A lot of times I'm allowing Spirit to guide me to certain people. Other times, yeah, I'll look at the headlines and see what I feel like needs to come up. But there are times, like here recently, of like, look at Don Jr. And I'm like, no, I don't want to. And it's like, look at Don Jr., revisit that, recircle that, Maya. And I'm like, ugh. And I argue with myself over whether or not I really need to do it. And then I do it and I see this reading. So it's worthwhile. I see that part of the information that it's wanting to share is that relationship with Kimberly Guilfoyle, there looks like there's a loss around it, or a loss around her. And this is to do with him and his relationships and trying to, I think, pick people that he looks to nurture him. Because I don't feel that that he feels very nurtured. And they weren't really, those kids growing up, not emotionally. And that's what's been the problem all along. Generation after generation in this family has not properly, in a healthy way, been raised with the correct amount of tension and discipline and love. But having said that, I lose empathy for them where they don't care about anybody else, that what they do hurt. So it's unfortunate, but that is what I do see about them. And, you know, while I want to keep my humanity in being able to say that is sorrowful for anybody to go through, at the end of the day, it is not going to stop me from saying they are responsible also as human beings. They know better. But the problem is their environment that they live in just is a giant echo chamber. And I don't know that they'll ever fully escape that. And when I say they, I'm talking about Donald Jr., I'm talking about that whole family. Okay, carrying on with Don Jr. So that relationship with Guilfoyle looks like we have a loss around her. I'm not quite sure if this is relationship loss or maybe a personal loss in her life. But there is definitely the nod toward relationship with the cups, with the hearts involvement. Princess of Hearts. Okay, we're dealing with feelings here. Also some surprise information, unanticipated, wherein connect to Don Jr. is concerned. Again, I feel like there's the keeping of certain evidence or receipts that blows up in his face. There's something here connected to him that puts his relationship with her into something going on with a loss. And look, there's broken hearts here. She feels, it could be that there's some information she might find or be found on one another's phone. I can't say whether it's her or him or what, but it looks like, to me, there is finding information, and we're getting two fives now, the Five of Hearts, the Five of Cups, and the Five of Pentacles. It's dealing with someone who has, I think, need of help with that Five of Pentacles and that Five of Hearts. It just looks like they come across information that could create a breakup. She wants peace. She retreats. She pulls back. Or he will pull back from her. The Hierophant. This deals with rules, education, law, practicing what you preach. I see her pulling back, and there is a loss for her, I think, where education may have come from too. Like, I don't know if this is bar, or, and I don't mean, by the way, I mean the bar. I don't mean dingbat bar. Okay, I'm talking about law. I know she's got I believe, a law degree. But I'm feeling that this could go into that territory, because that Hierophant can be about that sort of thing. But then there's such a personal feeling involved here that it is like a relationship and finding something that breaks one's heart, or you know, makes one feel some kind of way. We definitely have that going on. There's a loss of esteem here, where there had been love, or there had been a great deal of pleasure, or there's loss. With that Five of Pentacles, there's a need also, I feel like an addiction to means of satiation. I feel like drugs, sex, food, whatever somebody's means of temptation that they use to self-medicate or self-comfort, feel like that goes on with this five. And with this other five, there is emotional pain also associated. A relationship undergoes pain. So I believe that Donald Trump Jr.'s relationship with Kimberly Guilfoyle is undergoing change, painful change. I believe that I think that she legally could lose something, an accredit. I can't say it out loud. You know, it's some kind of credibility, and I think it is to do with law, with her studies, her quote-unquote professionalism, or what she's got under her belt. I feel like she could lose something there. Maybe places of education will distance themselves from acknowledging her. There is something significant here coming up with that. But I also feel I don't know that it's breakup. I see her having a heartbreak and feeling less, feeling taken down a few notches for sure. She has that also, though, that Five of Cups. She's that bully. She's that pushy, obnoxious person that doesn't handle others as carefully as she wishes to be dealt with herself. Let me just look at this again. Five of Pentacles here again. I see, her pulling back. For sure, there is some withdrawal. And it's to try and heal. But perhaps more so that with Donald Trump Jr. Maybe this is him pulling back from her. She could say something very hurtful. Could be a hurtful exchange between them, actually. And I have a feeling that from what we've seen, she's the one in that relationship. I think there's probably a definite power play going on between the two, but I believe she is just as intense as him. Every bit. Very toxic. Yeah, he finds something. There's something here. And I do feel like there is overindulgence as well that can lead to physical health problems here with that Five of Pentacles. Definitely catching that now. I'll get that third row in. But right now, I feel like I need to focus on these two. And her, see, either she could go into, I wonder if that's rehab. Oh boy. Okay, all my readings are alleged for entertainment purposes only. This is a card reading. However, it can pick up on stuff, and I can't explain to you how or why. It's just a way of me accessing the information, the truth that is out there. It's there. It's just tapping into it and relaxing your mind enough to try and make sense of it. Okay, so that I'm feeling like is this rehab? I think he's definitely got rehab in his future. I think that she's pretty aggressive with him in that relationship, that she's an aggressor. And he may step back from that relationship, or they may step back from each other. I feel like there are health issues that will come up in connection to the Nine of Pentacles, or the Nine of Cups, which, you know, is, like I said, connected to overindulgence. And you know what? Overindulgence can also be rage, imbalanced information, just as well as an addiction to substance, food, or activity. That activity can be all this Trump crazy QAnon crap and what have you too. The Four of Cups, or the Four of Hearts. I kind of like hearts, to tell you the truth. Cups are good too. So that's going to fall under his card of the Knight of Pentacles, with the Princess. Lots to do with emotions, with a Page of Hearts, if you will, and now we're getting the Four of Hearts in his further future. A Princess of Wands falling under that Five of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles. I feel like this is family. This is also wealth and money. But when we look at her card, what I'm going to call Kimberly's row here, as a Pisces, she gets the Four of Swords and the 10, or there's the Ten of Pentacles. I feel like really getting a strong sense of rehab. Around these two. In this reading, to do with him and her. I keep grabbing the cards the wrong way. My fault. Sorry. Princess of Swords. So, watchfulness. Wariness. Under the Hierophant. And the Five of Cups, or Hearts. I feel like this is that bossy energy, that brusque energy. And it's next to Kimberly. Is she acting that way, or is that being directed at her? I have a feeling she is acting that way. That she can be hostile and aggressive. Just from the cards, with the placement of them too. Watchful. So she pulls back. This could also be spying. Could be that somebody leaks the information about both of these two, looking at some kind of rehabilitation. Because physically, I'm seeing in the future, right here, and it's not the far future, it's more like what would be just on the horizon. It's coming into being. It's like between, I can't describe, but it is the now. As this is the now, but this is more of the past, and this is more the present as a result of that recent past. So we get this card of satiation with that 9 of Cups, and we get then a problem with the health, esteem, or mind and well-being in general, physically and in the mind and in the body. It's affected through overindulgence and excessive behavior, because I don't think it's positively dignified, or else you wouldn't have these negative cards. More negative, speaking about a problem that needs to be watched, managed, as a result of overindulgence. There's a feeling of apathy here too for Donald Trump Jr. He feels numb. He can't feel. He's having trouble to feel or access emotion. That would be depression. Also sociopathy or sociopath tendency. And that 10 of Pentacles under Kimberly. I think she could go back to her family, looking to retreat, pull back, and be surrounded by family with her family that deal with her no matter how crazy she is. More power to them, I guess, but hopefully they can get this woman clean up her mind. I personally think she's a bit too interested in remaining that way, but I do see that she's surrounded by family. I see her undergoing some form of retreat and healing. I think that we're looking at through a doctor or a professional means, though. This should be this is looking at trying to heal. I feel like there's an issue around overindulgence. I don't know if there is an argument, or this could be domestic, possibly a disagreement or arguing, but there is loss, and there's a sense of humiliation to her. There is a sense that she likes to humiliate or belittle with that 5 of Swords where he's concerned. And so there is a watchfulness or wariness that he has, that I think he starts to become aware in the relatively near future of that 5 of Pentacles not feeling so good, just in general, and needing to heal. 4 of Cups to pull back. So he may go, frankly, I think, through some kind of rehabilitation or some kind of attempt to heal, to try to heal, pulling back, and I think both of them, pulling back and attempting to heal through professional means. Because I believe that there are physical implications to the overindulgence occurring and affecting one's physical body, mind, and spirit. These things are clearly disturbed. So there's pulling back to heal that. And they're numb, as I was saying. I'm shown that they've numbed themselves up pretty good. That what they feel and seem to feel that they are permitted to feel is more anger and animosity rather than any kind of vulnerability. So I think he tries to cut out the vulnerability and empathy, and he feels more comfortable with being more aggravated, an irritant type of a individual. Yeah, I definitely feel like these two, I think, are using substances or something, and I do feel like there's physical damage that is occurring, as well as damage to their relationship, whatever that is. I see her pulling back. I see him pulling back. I see the need for healing. And I see him, each one pulling kind of back into their family and going off the radar. And I think this is because there's some physical, at least for him, consequences of overindulging. And I feel like she's being, Kimberly Guilfoyle, I feel like she's not particularly nurturing to him. In fact, I think she's pretty harsh. And he's, I think, gonna pull back, become, I think, ill enough with that Five of Pentacles with addiction, frankly, because the Nine of Cups is right on top of that he's going to have to pull back and reevaluate, reassess, and get a different perspective, try to get a different perspective in his life. And I think she too pulls back. Let's just pull a couple extra cards here. I see them kind of keeping in just an eye on each other, or wary, with that final card of the Princess of Swords. Let's pull a couple extra too on Don Jr. here. Very immature relationship behavior. Six of Pentacles. He's going to need help. It may surprise people too that I think this help I'm trying to get, okay, this is in the Six of Pentacles. This is giving help, asking for help. And the Prince of Hearts, again, there's an element of surprise. He thinks, I guess he doesn't think he really needs help. He thinks he's just partying. He thinks he's just, that this is just normal behavior. So there's denial going on with him. Also, that he needs help. I think he thinks, no, it's cool. I'm just using lightly. I think he's starting to lose his grip on. I think deep down he knows he needs help, but there's another part of himself that's going to want to deny, as is typical with addiction treatment. Okay, with the Eight, with the Strength card and the Five of Wands, he's going to feel that he is most definitely in a battle, I feel like, between what he does, quote unquote, recreationally, and who's controlling his life? Is it the substance abuse, or, which I clearly see, or is he consciously? And I don't see him consciously. I see him allowing I feel like, addiction or excess to steer his life. This causes arguments, I think, between he and those around him. Most definitely Kimberly Guilfoyle. Keep flipping the cards. That is me. Why I end up grabbing them like that. He's got a lot to go through. I mean, the Ten of Wands is extreme pressure. And the Seven of Hearts is dealing again with, I feel like, substance and a lack of recognition of reality. This is denial. I think he's going to have to hit rock bottom. We've not seen that yet. The Hermit and the Prince of Wands. Again, him pulling back. I think he could become just such a heavy, frankly, heavy use going on here, that the way that you'll end up hearing from him more is through social media, but not seeing him out so much, not seeing him physically out so much, or physical videos of him, where you can see what he's looking like. That's what I'm feeling like. He's going to have to hit rock bottom and do a lot of soul searching before this guy changes. I see heavy abuse of substance, and it will affect his health. But I still feel like there's such heavy denial. It is going to take a lot for him to figure out he's damaged himself, that he needs to be more real. I think he's really lost. The Father, the Emperor, also authority. The Devil. Well, his dad most certainly is not the most positive influence. His dad and what I'm getting is, he is emulating a lot of the problems that his father has. He's imprinting himself after that. And even though he doesn't, I don't think, particularly like his father, honestly, I think that the habits, the weaknesses, the codependency on using substance to make him feel like a big man, feel validated, positive, etc. I feel like it shows itself for what it is. The devil wants them, their due. So when you start using these things as a crutch, as a part of your life that's not authentic, and you're not real about it, you're not honest about any of that, I think it shows that there will come a time where you have to pay the price of those bad habits. Statistics catch up to you, and you will do time legally. There's other negative things, but I think this is definitely looking at his father and his father's own behavior in connection to addiction and excess and negative. Six of Hearts, his siblings, and the Five of Swords. There's just such a harshness within that family and towards each other. No love. It's such a toxic connection that holds them together. It's not love. It's not paternal, healthy love. It's not a healthy family. I know that you're not surprised by that, but there's some kind of loss, though, he's going to have with Kimberly Guilfoyle. A regret. And I think he might, like I said, end up having to deal with addiction and excess. And I'm a little concerned, you know, for things like overdosing when I see these types of cards. And I'm looking at Kimberly too, into the future. That could be a possibility. Oh my gosh, it's 51 minutes. That flew by before I knew it. The Magician and the Pentacles. They try and keep ahead of the narrative. I think this family will always try and twist the narrative around what they're doing. I think there could be something significant that comes up with Kimberly Guilfoyle, not Newsom anymore. Kimberly Guilfoyle, as she and is connected to Don Jr. and I see substance. So there's something yet to come up that will be an issue about their use of substance, and I think it could signify the end of that relationship. I'm looking at what looks like they both need to be treated, and it looks like it could get deadly, and that Guilfoyle especially, I'm thinking, needs rehab pretty bad. It's really weird to make this video because I don't know these people. But I see a little bit on the TV. I try to set that aside and read on them, and this is what I get. I think there's really significant addiction issues. And I think I just saw a warning for them that they need to get help, because one of them could end up getting both of them, it looks like to me, could end up getting very sick and needing help. So I'm going to leave that there. And we'll just have to wait and see. Just stay away from that crap, people. If this is ever a cautionary tale, this is why greed and drugs and take your mind and your away from you. You know, excess like that. Excess. Okay. I know this is a very long video. Thank you for watching if you managed to make it through. I think I'll just keep it as one video.